Hi all, today I'm over the moon because I've got someone to talk with. Do you know who is he? One of the greatest speaker of SpeakUp. Well, I'm really happy for him to come here and I'm going to talk with him today. I'm really excited.
Okay.
Okay, so how's it going?
Well, I'm very well. How about you?
Well, alhamdulillah, I'm doing great. You can see there are lots of audience and students. Can you introduce for them?
Yeah, sure. All right, so my name is Faisal Alam. I'm a student of Government Science College. I'm also an ex-student of SpeakUp, and I'm very delighted to be here, to be invited here by Ayman. She's a fabulous speaker. I have watched a lot of her videos. You have a great accent, and I hope we'll have a great time talking to each other.
Thanks a lot for your compliments.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, as you you have said that, I will have a nice time talking with you. Yeah, that's really.
Yeah. So go on. What are we talking about?
Okay, so you can see there are lots of students, new students, also old students. So they just want to know about some advice from you. They want some advice from you to learn English. How to give speech, how to talk with someone in English, like that.
Okay.
So at first, wait, let me ask you one question. Whenever someone tells you to introduce, tells them to introduce, they just are gonna get confused, how to introduce ourselves. Well, that's really hard in front of lots of audience. So can you just solve this problem for them?
Yeah, that's a great question because, whenever it's about introduction, it seems like a very simple thing. But when you are really introducing yourself, it feels very hard. You don't know what you have to say. Am I going to talk about my parents? Am I going to talk about my friends? Am I going to talk about my interests? So what you can do is you'd start with your name, like I did. My name is Faisal Alam, because that's the main introduction. That's the name they get from you. And then you can go for your institution, what institutions you have studied in. You can go with the most recent one because it will be a very lengthy introduction if you go for all of that. And then what you can do is you can describe some traits about you. You know what traits are? Traits means some small things about you, some details about you. Like, I love to watch movies. I love to go traveling. And then you can say, I'm an honest person. That's also a kind of introduction. So you can try these three things. You can go with your name and then your institution and then some small traits about you, some small details. And that will conclude your introduction very well, I guess.
Okay. Then I have another question similar to that. It's about lack of confidence.
Yeah.
Now, whenever Russell sir calls some of the students, here, sir says, make a conversation. But they were sorry, sir, I can't. It's really hard, for them because, lack of confidence. So can you tell them, believe in yourself, give some motivational kind of things,
Okay, so it's not about motivation because confidence is something you build over time. Whenever Hassan used to ask me to give a speech here, I would be underconfident as well. But with time, the confidence piles up because with time you improve yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you improve yourself, you can speak in front of other people and there's no issue of confidence anymore, right? I am confident here because I have been here many times. I have piled up that energy. Okay, so whenever I'll be in a new place, I'll be underconfident as well. But you cannot just focus on that thing. What you can focus is piling up that confidence to go to that place more and more. You have to come here more and more to gain that confidence, and you will not be underconfident anymore. So that's not something you can get with any motivation. Like I can say, oh, you can do this, you can do that. That's not something you do. You just pile up that energy, and then it becomes your confidence day by day.
Okay, that was cool. Yeah, we have to believe in ourselves.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, that's really important for us. To speak in English, to do any work.
Any work.
Okay, so what do you think? What's the main thing to success? For speaking in English, most of the students just say that to me, I can't speak like you. It's not possible for me. Like that.
Yeah. Well, in any form, in any kind of art, speaking English is also an art. So if you want to be successful, you have to have the passion. You have to have the passion to speak in English. Because if you don't even want to speak in English, you don't want to learn English, Okay, and in order to become successful, you have to practice a lot. You have to grow yourself. You have to grow that skill in you. You have to speak, you have to practice, you have to watch movies, read newspapers. You can see these are basics, right?
Yeah.
But with time, these basic things just pile up and you become successful day by day, because whenever you came here first you couldn't just
Yeah.
speak, and now you have great accent, you have great pronunciation, and many more things. So whenever someone wants to be successful, they have to give it time, they have to nurture it with with love, with passion, and then they'll become successful. We can be hopeful about that.
Okay, so we have said that we have to give time for English. So just it comes up like time management. Like what can we do to give time in English?
Well, you don't need a lot of time in English, right? You have to, let's say, if you give 10 minutes a day, that's a lot of time. 10 minutes can do a lot, because the consistency is what's important, right? So let's say you have practiced for an hour and then for 7 days you didn't practice at all. That's not gonna work. But if you practice for 6 days, 10 minutes, 60 minutes, compiled, that's what importance.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do it regularly, and about time management, just to take 10 minutes out of your time is not a very big deal, right? What is a problem is we procrastinate a lot. We just say, okay, 10 minutes later, 10 minutes later, and then
Yeah.
it just compiles, and then we see the days just gone. So what we can do is we can maintain a routine where every day we practice English for 10 minutes, and that's a lot of time. 10 minutes can do a lot. So I think by managing that time with just maintaining a simple routine can help a lot.
There's a line like, if you do something a little bit every day, you can come up with something massive.
Yeah, you
I
can.
read that somewhere from your book. So what do you think? Do we really need someone to talk in English while practicing? Most of my friends says that I don't have anyone to talk with, in my family. I was like, you can talk with yourself, but they don't listen to me.
Well, you can talk to yourself as well, but if you have somebody else to talk, you can have that reality check, right? Because if you're talking to me, then you'll know where you stand. But if you're talking to just yourself, you'll don't know, right? So if you have somebody to practice, okay, so they say they don't have anybody because they're shy. Okay, let's be honest. They're shy. They just don't get the confidence to talk with their parents, with their friends. But if they come over with that shyness, then they can talk to anybody. Let's say with a rickshaw puller. I have seen many videos where the father is teaching their daughter to, rent a rickshaw, to how to rent a rickshaw in English,
my
in
favorite.
Bangla. Okay, so many things. So you have to come over with the shyness, and then you'll have a partner, and you'll have that reality check when you have a partner. So I think having a partner is really important.
Okay. I have a question. Not only me, everyone has that question. Like, do we really need to read books for learning English, having a lots of vocabulary store?
It is obviously not even in English. In your native language, you have to learn, you have to read a lot of books to improve the vocabulary. We think that Bangla is our native language. We know every word in Bangla. But turns out when you start reading, when you start learning, there are more words, suitable words. So what happens is if you don't read books or watch movies, you don't have good words to use. Let's say we say that this is beautiful, but you can say that's stunning. So that word stunning, if you want to learn that word, you have to read a lot of books. You have to gain vocabulary about that. So reading a lot of books is one of the most important thing to be a good speaker. If you want to be a general speaker, if you just want to, let's say, do hi, hello with strangers, then you don't need to read a lot of books. But if you want to be a prominent speaker, you have to read a lot of books, and you have to read a lot of documentaries and journals a lot.
Yeah. Books and door are the same thing. When you open it and we just get into another world,
Yes, another dimension
Like,
completely.
Mysterious kind of books.
Yeah.
Well, enthusiasm really matters. We need to be, like ardor and glowing, and a glowing ardor. We
Obviously,
need
obviously.
that.
Yeah.
If you have interest in something, we can do it because, interest and dedication really matters.
Yeah. That's very important to learn new things, because that's what feeds the curiosity in yourself.
Okay, so you can see he have given us like many advice. So did you get what you wanted? Okay, so I have a nice time talking with you, and I was so good at another chance, you know.
Okay, I enjoyed the talk a lot.
Okay, thanks a lot. Goodbye.